Check 1, 2. Good morning, everybody. This is Lucien from Calvin Chin's Martial Arts Academy. Welcome back, or if it's your first time, just welcome to our all ages beginner intermediate Hung Kung Fu class. We were having a little bit of an issue with our streaming equipment, so we weren't able to stream as many live classes as we typically do. Normally we stream 4 days a week, typically 4 to 5 classes per day. So there's a ton of content here. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider just hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, and you get a ton of content. We have well over 500 classes archived that you can check out on Kung Fu, on Tai Chi, all kinds of great stuff here. So in any case, in this class, we're going to run through a series of fundamental exercises, some light stretching, some punching, some kicks, all that good stuff. And then we're going to go into our 5 stances drill. And then we'll move on to the first form we teach here at Calvin Chin's Martial Arts Academy, which is called Moy Fa Kuen, the Plum Fist Set. We'll do the second form, Lau Gar Kuen, which is the Lao Family Fist Set. We'll do Bambu Kuen, which is the third form. That's a 7-star praying mantis crushing step form. And then we'll see what kind of time we have. Excuse me, at a certain point, our sifu, Calvin Chin, will come in and he will take over the instruction. And I hope that you guys enjoy the class. So as always, we're going to start feet shoulder width. Nice big hoop. And we turn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Reaching over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Hold on one sec, guys. I just want to check one thing on the stream. Sorry about that. Okay, looks like everything's still working well, which is what we're looking for. A little gun shy after we had the trouble there. All right, we're going to raise the arms, stretch towards the floor gently. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle once. Inhale. And exhale. And again. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle once. Inhale. And exhale. And again. 1, 2, 3. To your right. 2, 3. To your left. 2, 3. Middle once. Inhale. And exhale. Hands on the waist. Rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Crossing the hands, place them on the knees. Big circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Switch hands, switch directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Hands on the waist, turning the head side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Tilting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. And rotation, looking all the way around. 1, 2, 3. And we switch. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, this mic's a little finicky today. Sorry about that if I have to keep adjusting. Now we're going to open up the feet. Put the arms out, relax your body, turn your waist, and turn your head, trying to kind of look behind you. Then just let the arms follow along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to cross our fingers, turn to the right, lift your left heel, keep a straight back. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, 3. Switch. 1, 2, and 3. Both feet flat, right leg straight, and gently stretch. And we switch. And switch, toe up. Switch, toe up. Now we stand up, turn to the right, both legs straight, bend at the waist. And we switch. To the middle. Let's bring the feet in, toes out, elbows between the knees. We call this the frog. We're stretching the hip and trying to gain a little more flexibility in the ankle. Okay, we sit, both feet together, butterfly. Okay, right leg out, stretch towards your right foot. And we switch. Stretch towards your left. Both hands behind you. We bounce, switch, and up. Okay, shake it out. Deep breathing. Palms up, elbows down, elbows out. Inhale. Exhale. Palms up, elbows down, elbows out. Inhale. Exhale. Palms up, elbows down, elbows out. Inhale and exhale. Okay? So next up, we're going to open up into a horse stance. We're going to put the hands at the sides. We start in what we call the ready position. Toes are straight, in line with each other this way, and also parallel this way. Hands are at your sides, body straight but relaxed, and the eyes are facing the front. We make fists, raise them up, bend the knees, heels, toes, heels, and finally parallel with each other, straight line between the toes, bending the knees out, back is straight, body is relaxed, fist on the waist, and we're going to do a reverse punch, Ping Choi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Now we're going to do low block press. 1, you want your wrist in the middle, and you don't want to straighten your arm where you lock the elbow out. You want the elbow bent. You have this rounded shape here. Okay? And you do want the hand below the waist. You don't want to be up here because the whole point is to protect the low area. Now we switch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Middle block. Come all the way across the body, stopping at the shoulder. Make sure the thumb isn't out but tucked in to protect it on that side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. High block. We're going to lift up the middle, same bent wrist position as the low block, but just above the eyebrows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to do Lim Wam Sam Sik, all 3. Same arm. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Closing. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to do low block with a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. One thing I do want to note, and not to state the obvious, you may already be aware of this, we do want to turn our waist, but we don't want to overturn our waist. A lot of times when we, especially in the kids class on Zoom that I've been teaching lately, you see kids kind of doing this. It's an over rotation. So you want to be square to the front with your punch. All right, we're going to do middle block punch now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Now we're going to do high block punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Closing. 1, 2. Notice we close the same way every time. This is an escape from someone grabbing onto your wrist. So we practice this all the time, and hopefully it becomes automated. All right, now we're going to do Dan Ji Kiyosa. We're going to put our wrists bent, squeeze down all your fingers except for your index finger, pull it back. You're going to come back to your chest with the hands, with the elbows behind you, each time, no matter which direction we're going. First direction is to the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We go low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We go high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Last set in front of us, shoulder width, shoulder height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press. Thrust, flip, roll, press, and we close. 1 and 2. Close up our stance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake it out. Deep breathing, palms up, elbows down, elbows out. We inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Very good. So we're going to go shoulder width again. Okay, feet parallel to each other, straight line between the toes, as with all the other shoulder width positions. Bend the knees slightly. We're not going to change our foot position at all during these exercises. Doesn't matter which direction we punch or which punch we're doing, the feet are going to stay like this. Left hand on the waist, right fist to the center. You're going to punch out and in. Your punch should come out in a straight line and return in a straight line. So you don't want what we call knocking on the door. That's because you're not moving the elbow. You got to drop the elbow and lift the elbow and punch. You want your fist to be a hard object. Everything else should be relaxed. Okay, stop, switch, punch. Okay, stop, turn to the side, and punch. So you turn your head and you punch to the side. You keep your body facing the front. Good. Stop, switch, punch. Okay, stop. Both fists up by our ears, vertical elbow, so we don't want to do this. We also don't want to be actually touching the side of the head, just kind of near the ear, vertical elbow. We're going to turn, drop diagonally down towards the opposite knee. Think of a hammering fist and switch. Continue. You're going to turn your waist. Keep your knees bent slightly and keep your head facing forward. You don't want to turn your head with the body on this one. You lose sight of your opponent. Okay, stop, lift the elbow, strike out, and in. Punch. Hitting with the edge of the fist. Again, the fist should be a hard object. Everything else is relaxed. Switch and punch. Okay, stop. Chaelon Choi, cartwheel punch. One fist over the other. I'll turn to the side for a second. You want to line your fist up on the elbow of the opposite arm, and that's going to determine the size of that circle. So here, obviously, I'm not lined up on the elbow. Here, I'm not lined up on the elbow, but if I line that fist up with the elbow of the opposite arm, and one hand cycles over the top in the center, you have a nice even circle. Okay, stop. Kwa Choi, back of the fist, and punch. Okay, switch and punch. Okay, good. Now we're going to do lightly touching with the left toe, so your right toe faces the corner. Step straight out with your left toe, just barely touching the floor. Punch out with your left. You want to switch stance, but make sure you don't bring your weight to the front. Always keep your weight on the back leg. Switch, 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 and continue. Very good. Deep breathing. Very good. Okay, next up we're going to do a series of kicks. Okay. We're going to do 6 kicks each leg for each kick. In your own practice, obviously, you can do as many as you like, do a couple hundred if you want. If you're feeling up for it, this is just in the interest of time. We only have 1 hour for all the stuff that we want to get in, and so that's why we're only doing 6 of each. Now, all these kicks are to the front direction, so you want to be in a good leaning stance. That means your front toe, in this case your left toe, is in a straight line with your right heel. Okay, so this, it's in an angular line. This, it's an angular line. I want this in a straight line with the heel of the back foot. I want to bend my front knee, straighten my back leg, my right leg. Left hand is on top. Right hand is a low block. We're going to switch by punching with the right, toe out with the left foot, lift the knee, and a snapping toe kick to the front. Step all the way back and punch with the left. So that's 1. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that mic's kind of acting a little finicky today. I forgot to bring mine that has 2 ear loops on it, so I'm on the single. 5, 6. Let's switch. Same thing, but we're going to push out with the heel like you're trying to knock something over versus slapping up under it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Switch. Straight leg kick. This is the only kick we do where we're not going to bend the knee as a precursor to the kick. So the front toe kick, the front heel kick, the round kick, side kicks, all those kicks we need to lift the knee first. In this one, we want to keep that kicking leg straight. Same leaning stance, punch, toe out. 1, 2, just swing it straight up. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. Right foot forward, kicking with the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, we switch. Now we're going to do round kick. As I mentioned, we need to lift the knee, but we're not just going to angle the foot. We need to lift the knee and then turn the knee over, turning the waist. That gives it the roundness, and it comes out. You should be hitting with the shin and the instep, not pointing the toe, because you're likely to hurt your toes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good job. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Something I was going over in my kids' class last night, actually. Everything we do has a purpose. By design, we do it for a reason. So that means everything has an application from a self-defense perspective. So even this, if we just do this for deep breathing, sometimes we see people, maybe they forgot themselves or they're having an off night, they might do this, but actually you need to go to this vertical position, horizontal, and then out. If somebody goes to throw a punch, if you just bring your hands in and bring your hands down, you're going to get punched. If you go to a vertical position, you can go to horizontal, you can take this to the side, you can strike out. There's all kinds of things you can do from there if you have proper form for even the most basic of exercises. Okay, so next up we're going to do 5 stances. This is a traditional Hung Kuen 5 stances that our teacher, Grandmaster Calvin Chin, created. And this is the first drill outside of these fundamental warm-up exercises we do every class that we teach people, that we teach new students. But it's something even our advanced students practice because there's a lot of value in this. We're learning how to coordinate the upper and the lower, how to gain mobility in your footwork, how to coordinate your hand technique with your leg technique. So there's a lot of benefit to all this. Again, we're not going to rush through it. We're going to take our time. Because we have one camera angle when Sifu's teaching and I'm running the stream behind the scenes, I can edit from one camera to the next. We have multiple cameras, one there, one there, one there. See if we have any more. No, I think that's it in this room. We have more in the other room. But in any case, so I'm going to do it to 4 directions so that you can see from all sides. All right? If you miss it from one side, don't worry. We're going to be doing it from another angle. Also, try to use the mirror to help you keep your eyes on things. So here we go. Make fists. Raise them up. Up. Open. Drop the elbows. Push out. Palms up. Make fists. Pull. Those of you that are already familiar with Hung Kuen recognize that as a gunji opening. We push. 1, 2, 3. Double elbow. Press. Thrust. Press. Big hoop. And we close. Now we go right fist on top of the left. Reach out. Offset horse stance. Chun kill. Sliding step. Punch. Sorry. Okay, just trying to get the mic worked out here. Left hand underneath, we step all the way through to leaning stance. Elbow, offset horse stance, punch. Toe out, big cross step, all your weight's on your right foot, heel of your left foot is up, we make a hoop. Turn, dragon whips tail, pivot out, again, offset horse stance. Corner back fist to the head, make a circle, toe out, intercept, cat stance, punch. Step straight back, cover, leaning stance, high block, low block. Left knee up, we're going to turn, drop, and chop. Step out, uppercut, and close. That's our first direction. Now I'm going to come towards the camera on this one. We go right fist on top, offset horse stance, straight line from toe to heel, chun kill. Sliding step, leaning stance punch to the center. Left hand underneath, step all the way through, elbow back, turn the waist, punch. Toe out, big cross step, big hoop, turn, dragon whips tail, offset horse stance, corner back fist to the head. I do want to quickly note, a lot of people would focus on the back fist and forget the left fist or the right fist. So what you want to do is the left fist strikes out, but your right fist is going to go to the waist. This becomes an even motion. If it's just here, it's kind of top heavy, right? If you miss, you might lose your balance. But if you're here, if you open from the chest, you get an even movement. Make a circle, intercept, cat stance, punch. Step straight back, cover, high block, low block, left knee up, turn, drop, and chop, uppercut, we close. All right, we're going to go to the third direction. Here we go. Right fist on top, offset, chun kill, leaning stance, punch. Left hand underneath, elbow, punch. Toe out, big cross step, big hoop, dragon whips tail, pivot out, open from the chest, corner back fist to the head. Make a circle, intercept, cat stance, punch. Step straight back, cover. High block, low block, lift the knee, drop and chop, uppercut, close. One more time, I'm going to go offset from the camera so you can also see in the mirror. Right fist on top, chun kill, sliding step, punch. Left hand underneath, elbow, punch. Toe out, big cross step, big hoop, dragon whips tail, corner back fist to the head, intercept, cat stance, punch. Step straight back, cover, high block, low block, left knee up, turn, drop and chop, uppercut, and we close. Very good. Deep breathing. Very good. Take a quick water sip here. So, one of the things I want to mention, when we're doing things like this cat stance, punch, or for example in second form where we have the thrust in a cat stance, you want to make sure that you yield with your ankle, your knees, and your hips, because if you don't, what you end up doing is sticking your butt out. You're going here, but actually you keep your back vertical and you settle in your stance. So you have to relax the hip and the knee and the ankle. If the ankle's tight, the knee's tight, the hip's tight, you end up bending. So you want to try to relax the legs and let that technique happen. Okay, so let's see. Yep, next we're going to work on Moy Fa Kuen. That's the Plum Flower Fist Set. This is the first form that we teach from our Hung Kuen curriculum. And yeah, we're going to run through it again, not at kind of competition or performance speed, but hopefully slowly and deliberately enough that you can see the technique and hopefully you pick up on the transitions. Okay, so here we are. Make fists, raise them up. Middle block, salute. Step back and close. Bend the knees, turn to the right, step out, offset horse stance, high block, low block. Pull your foot back half the distance of your stance, cross step, cross block. Right foot forward, offset horse stance, right hand middle block, dragon claw. Right fist on top, step back, chun kyo. Scoop, step all the way up, press, uppercut. Left hand on top, cat stance, remove. Step up, punch. Squatting. Step out, uppercut. Left hand on top, cat stance, remove. Step up, punch. Toe out, cat stance, high block hammer fist. Step out, cross block. Turn to the rear, drunken punch. Left hand underneath, remove, high block. Leaning stance, punch. Squatting. Uppercut, sliding step, punch. Squatting. Elbow up, step up, cat stance, cut, offset, turn to leaning, palm strike to the waist. Remove, punch. I'm going to move up this way so I stay on frame. Toe out, step to the rear. Right fist comes across, left hand underneath, elbow, rolling elbow, corner back fist, palm strike to the chest, high block, outside crescent with the left, hop kick with the right, press, turn your waist, trapping hand or bong seal, sit up, back fist, remove, and punch. Right fist on top, step in, step back, clear the way, chun kyo, sliding step, palm strike to the waist. Pull your foot back, cross step, scoop, press, kick, punch, dragon, right fist on top, chun kyo, sliding step, punch, middle, salute. 1, 2, 3. We close. Very good. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. By the way, if there are any questions about any of this stuff, please ask them in the comments section. Obviously, I can't answer them while I'm in front of the camera. But as soon as Sifu comes in to assist, then I'll be behind the camera and I can see your questions in the comments section. And we love hearing from you. We can get them answered before the class is over for sure. All right. Next form we're going to do is Lau Gar Kuen. It's the Lao Family Fist Set. This form kind of takes a box pattern and then an angle. And there's a bit of repetition as well. So here we go. Ready position, make fists, raise them up. Left hand middle block, leaning. Pivot, leaning. Toe out, cat stance with the waist turned 45 to the corner so you can use that waist to square up to the front. Bring your foot back, pull the elbows in. Shift, pivot, middle block, body's facing the corner. When you go to suspended, turn to the front, salute. Step back, pivot, feet together. We close. 2 punches to the ears, 2 punches down, open, push out to the sides, scoop, right fist on top, cross step with your left, intercept, cat stance, punch. Many of you recognize this from the 5 stances we just did. Step back, leaning stance, high block, low block. This is the part where it diverges from 5 stances. We're going to turn the waist, chop to the waist with the right hand. Left fist is on the waist, and you're in leaning stance. Pull your foot back, cross step, scoop, press, kick, punch. Right fist on top, step in, step back, clear the way. Draw the bow, sliding step, punch. Oh, sorry. That earpiece again's the devil today. All right, we're going to step all the way through to leaning. Lift your right fist to high block, strike out to the sternum with the left hand. We're going to turn and counter rotate. So that's Tindu seal. We're going to lift, high block, strike out, Songgong seal. Elbows down, turn, Gemelung Hunjiao or dragon claw. Pivot, cross step, high block, low block. Pivot out, should be in an offset horse stance. Palm strike to the waist, pull the foot back, scoop, press, kick, hop. And again, as I said earlier, don't let your butt stick out. Sink, thrust, cut, double chop, cross step Tindu, Wang Chang Hoi, Phoenix Eye. Right fist on top, offset, Chun Kyo, punch. Step through, left hand's on top. We're going to fold, penetrating or thrusting elbow, Lao Jiang dropping palm, Kwa Choi back fist, right fist on top, step out, Chun Kyo, punch. Now this section repeats. We go set up, Tindu, Songgong, elbows down, dragon, cross step, high block, low block, pivot, palm strike. Pull your foot back, cross step, scoop, press, kick, thrust, cut, chop, Tindu, Wang Chang Hoi, Phoenix Eye. Both palms down, fingers facing the left. Turn to the corner. So you want your arms to go with you. A lot of people do this in the arms, but actually to coordinate this movement, you turn the body. Then you actually have leverage from here. Cross step to the corner, right hand on top. Hands are going to turn the wheel as we turn the waist. Left hand to the shoulder, right hand to the hip. Offset, we turn, leaning. Butterfly palm strike. Cross step, scoop, turning the waist. Cross step, turn the wheel, right hand to the shoulder, left hand to the waist. Offset, turn. Leaning stance to the corner, butterfly palm strike. Step up, step out, low block, uppercut position. Step in, step out, low block, uppercut position. We step straight back. Low block with the left, middle with the right. Reach out with the left, turn the waist, chop to the neck. Adjust your foot, elbow, dropping palm, back fist. Left hand underneath, we pivot. We're going to lift sword finger 1 and 2. Cross step, open, turn your waist, trapping hand. Step through, press, leaning stance thrust. Middle, step to the corner, salute. And back, 1, 2, and 3. Good, deep breathing. Okay, that's pretty good. When we're doing second form, it's a form that lends itself to something that we should be trying to do in all of our forms, which is kind of set your legs or set your foot position, set the arm position or the joint angle, and then let it go by coordinating your legs and your body, right? So a great example of that is when we're in leaning stance and we step all the way through to the opposite leaning stance, and we bring this hand, this right fist to high block, left hand out. Now we're going to turn this way and then strike down at a 45. Left hand goes to middle block. So you're here. You don't try to do this while you're moving your foot through to make that stance transition, because there's no way that you're going to have power, right? You're probably going to just push yourself off balance. So when you're here, you set up your feet first. Now you can, because you have a stable stance, you can use that. So you're going to turn and then turn back. So you're using the legs and the waist to drive that movement. Tindu. Same thing, when we lift, we don't try to go leaning stance on this at the same time. We lift, turn, leaning, strike out. Elbows down, offset, turn, leaning, dragon. So these are things that offer kind of some of the precision that we're looking for, because Hongga is known for its kind of strength and tenacity, but it also has to be precise. It can't just be all over the place. And setting your position first and then moving your waist and your stance together is a really good way to build accuracy into your movement. Okay, so anyway, I know time's ticking away here. Next up, we're going to do Bambu Kuen. That's the third form. This is not a traditional Hung Kuen form, but it is part of our Lam Family Hung Kuen curriculum. You've probably heard me say this many times, but the reason we have Bambu Kuen, which is a 7-star praying mantis form, in our curriculum is that our late great Grandmaster Lam Jo saw this form. A colleague of his was a northern 7-star praying mantis master. He liked the form, and he added it to the curriculum, and we do it for two reasons. One, to carry on the traditions that were passed down to our sifu and then passed down to us, and to kind of honor our late great grandmaster. If it was good enough for him, it's certainly good enough for us. And then also, having that northern perspective actually can only improve your skill. It certainly can't harm your southern skill. It can only improve what you're doing. So the one thing about the northern mantis form, Bambu Kuen, is that it's more linear. So we're going to be traveling kind of a long route this way. And so I may have to adjust my stepping to stay in frame, which I'll do just so I can stay on camera. Okay, so we're here. Raise the hands, bend the knees, elbows out, make the circle, press. Lift, leaning stance, high block, hop, punch. Come across, hop, 1, 2, 3. Leaning stance, thrust out, step all the way through, punch. Okay, I'm going to step back just so I don't leave the camera's view. Cross step with your left foot, make a circle, sink. Knee up, punch. Put the foot down, elbow, back fist, turn, lift, capture, put the foot down, turn the waist. So we're pulling. High block, ginger fist, scoop, and vertical. 1, 2, 3. We thrust, step all the way through, punch. Again, I'm going to move back to stay on frame. So right foot forward, leaning stance, right fist out, left hand against the forearm. Okay, we're going to grab with the right hand, step back, grab with the left, turn the waist, pull. Low block, palm strike, step out, leaning stance, left elbow, cat stance, right elbow. Step out, high block, drop the elbow, step through, chop, scoop, pivot, double elbow, step out, strike, punch, toe out, sweep, 1, 2, vertical, kick, hop, kick, strike, uppercut, press, lift, press, lift, press, lift, middle, 1, 2, 3, toe out, uppercut. Okay, again, I'll step back. We're going to sweep. 1, 2, 3, turn, lift, sweep with the left, sweep with the right, sweep, chop, leaning stance, hook, back fist, pull back, hop, 1, 2, 3, thrust, step all the way through, punch, pivot, horizontal to vertical, pivot, double elbow up, press, and we close. All right, deep breathing. And hold on one sec. I'm just going to check because we got just under 15 minutes. You coming, Sibu? So we got like 14 minutes left.
So what the... So how we doing? Haven't seen anyone for a while. So over the holidays, I guess some of you realized that we were out of commission. But anyways, actually I was working with some of the people yesterday on some of the fundamentals butterfly palms and footwork, and those are things that we all need work on, because when we first start learning our forms, we really just pay attention to sequence. But once you've finished your sequence, you have to focus and realize that when you go into your stances, that you have to sink down. You have your sliding steps and so forth. So you always have to go through your stance, get your offset. When you chunko, you have to sink just before you execute a movement. So that's what sink is. Sometimes I see people going into their stance and they're in the width, but they just put their hand out. So that's not what happens in the traditional arts. You have to actually go in and sink in the stance, take your step, and then punch, and then sink into the stance again. So that's just a sample of what you should be doing. There's a sink in every step. You know, you go into, say, Bangbu Kun, you have to sink down at the point of finishing your posture. When you go forward, you have to settle, sink, and the term sink is a term we use in Tai Chi and Kung Fu and all the different disciplines that involve form. And what we have to do when we sink in a stance is to understand what that means. Sinking means to relax your hips, release your ankle and your knee so you can actually settle into your stance. The term sink is heard all the time, but we're not actually doing that when we're going into the stances enough. When we go to, say, a horse stance to a leaning and we turn, we have to turn the hips and complete the rotation, because a lot of times we go into some of these movements and we're kind of there, but we're not really in the stance. So that's one of the things that the traditionalists look for. Say, for instance, we pass through this corner position to offset stance, we have to sink down. And then when we lift this punch, we have to sink and stabilize the legs in a position, because that's what you're looking for in your stance. Because if you're going to just go through the motions, that's actually not going to be beneficial. And you really won't have, you won't achieve the same way if your goal is to improve your transition and then actually get a better understanding in the body mechanics of your movement. So sinking in your stance is important. Maintaining the geometry of positions that I talk a lot about is that, you have your corners and you have your center line, right? So between those two corners and the center line is a 90-degree angle. So either you're facing that way, or this way. So when you're turning from this corner to here, you have to finish your movement. So that not only includes the legs, it includes your torso and your body. Hand positions, obviously, are the things that I've talked about over, the numerous months. The circle, the high block should be in front of the forehead. The middle block is in front of the shoulder. The low block is in front of your navel. So use those as your reference points. And your punch should always, in the forms, go about shoulder height. There's a few exceptions, but most of the time, we don't punch like other styles do in high, middle, and low. Generally, most of our punches are level, and that's just the way traditionalists have been doing it. Now, Lau Gar Kuen looks like you're punching low, but it's not really punching low. It's really because the stance is lower. So this might be just a little bit lower than shoulder height, but not punching to the stomach. Okay, so that gives you, some reference points. Now, do we punch low, middle, and high? In application, you punch low, middle, and high. But the thing is, in form, everything is pretty much shoulder level and directed toward the center line. All right, so we have several punches. We have the flat punch and the sun punch. So what's the difference? One is flat, one is vertical like this. When you punch like this, you have the option of using the top knuckles or the bottom knuckles, depending on how you hook your wrist, or like I said, if we were directing it down or directing it up in application. But in a flat punch, typically, It's just using all of this, and the wrist should be flat and square. Okay. Now the thumb, some of you that are new to Hung Gar, when you make a fist, you roll your fingers down, and your thumb should press on that index finger, so the fist actually looks a little bit squarer than you round over like this. Okay. So that's just something that's really basic, but maybe some of you don't realize that. When you go into your opening position where you start to salute, this hand should be cupped to create like a paw. It's not a tiger claw, but it is a paw position where the hand is rounded slightly like this. You're not going flat like this. So that's something that people pick up. Whether you don't pick up on this, you kind of think it's this. Because one of the reasons is because a lot of times people think that you're slapping, the forearm or slapping the hand when you block. The idea is to create a structure with the forearm in this position. If you kind of slap the hand, then you're not paying attention to what we call a bridge. Okay, so, and then the different positions your thumb's in. Sometimes your thumb is flat. It's not sticking out like this. You see sometimes we do a bridge like this, and sometimes the thumb is like this. They have different purposes for the position, but typically if you're going to strike with a palm, you want to flatten your palm and then sort of tuck this thumb in a little bit like this. You don't want to flatten the palm and have your thumb sticking out, because it's going to get jammed or get broken if you hit something with it, and it's actually not good to have it in this position when you're trying to focus on here. When you chop, you want your thumb to tuck in a little bit like this, and then sort of crank the wrist back a little, so this area is your focal point, because that's the position you're going to chop or chop like this. When you do your diagonal strike, you want your wrist to be straight. When you do your elbow, you want it to be straight. When you do the rolling elbow, you want it to be straight. So all of those has to do with keeping the integrity of this intact by keeping that straight. This is being bent, this is being bent. Okay. Do those have a purpose? They also have a purpose depending on what you're doing. If you're doing this, then it's a palm strike. When you're flattening out, it's either your fingertips or your fists. When you're hooking down, you might be capturing or hooking or using a wrist block. Okay, so really, the shape of the hand isn't exactly always the same. Just that alone actually created a different integrity of your position. So a corner back fist should be rounded slightly, not flat. All right, so those are things that you'll discover as you progress. At this point, it appears not to be important, because one of the things is that your arm or your hands are too rigid and stiff. You're not going to experience the same difference in those minute adjustments. So those are things that are important. And then your stance, a lot of times people go into a horse stance and you say, well, they're not actually doing anything but bending their knees. But actually, when you kick your heels out like this and try to square up your feet, and you grab the floor by gripping your toes, then you feel like you're attaching to the floor, because it creates the same type of thing as this paw. So when you're in this position, it allows you for stability, but it also allows you some control of the rooting of your stance. So you're not only just going into a stance and just bending your knees. You're bending your knees, and then you're creating an action, whether it's spreading your knees or dropping a knee here, or dropping a knee here, or going from here and straightening a knee and pivoting on the heel. Those are all transitions. Another point with those is the same thing as we talk about these hand positions, is that it's not going to make a difference in the beginning, but if you want to progress, then those things have to be understood. See, a lot of times I talk about these things just as a sort of what we call a verbal transmission. So when you hear this information, you don't have to go back and think about, so should I do this or should I do that? I just told you that this is what is important, so you should just house that information here. And then when you're ready to do or add those type of things into your footwork or your hand positions, then you'll begin to realize that there is, a lot of little important things that will help you progress in not just skill level, but in understanding. Because ultimately, without the understanding, you really can't change anything. Mainly because if the mind is the director of your movements, if your mind doesn't know enough information, it's not going to feed your body, and your body's not going to know what to do. Because that's how we learn motor skill. You have to teach your body, and you have to know how to practice and train. So when you're training, there's drills, there's forms, and then there's conditioning that you can actually use to supplement all of the things that we're talking about. So on that note, it's about noontime. Take that information, you can run with it, and see if you can understand it the way you should, is